Good morning, everyone. I'm Rhonda Pringle, Market President and Publisher of the Baltimore Business Journal. Welcome to the Baltimore Business Journal's CEO of the Year and Power 10 Awards. We'd like to thank our partner sponsor, the ARC Baltimore, and awards partner, Allegram. Feel free to comment via our question panel, and our event staff will share your post. In the handout section of the control panel, be sure to download our event program, which contains more information on this year's 2021 honorees and sponsors. Our last in-person event was March 5th, 2020, and it was this one, our CEO Awards event. While this year we'll celebrate virtually, we are no less excited to recognize this year's distinguished group of honorees with you. Among this group are leaders that are guiding their companies through extraordinary times and lending their voice, their influence, and their dollars to making a positive impact on the communities they serve. To kick off our awards program, I'd like to welcome BBJ reporter Melody Simmons to introduce this year's CEO of the Year Lifetime Achievement honoree, David Cordish. Melody.
Thank you, Rhonda. CEO of the Year is one of the most distinguished awards presented by the Business Journal. This honor highlights a local CEO whose career holds several layers of success stories in both business and community service. This year's honoree is Baltimore born and bred and is as tenacious as our city's legacy. He is an octogenarian who has displayed the same strong work ethic for decades. He has critical real estate acumen and a strong support system rooted in 3 generations of family and constant mentorship. He's built an empire based out of Inner Harbor headquarters that has helped change the city's landscape and the entertainment and gaming landscapes of several other cities like Philadelphia, Tampa, Hollywood, Florida, and Pittsburgh as well. Please help me congratulate our 2021 CEO of the Year and Lifetime Achievement honoree, David Cordish, CEO and Chairman of the Cordish Companies. Here's a word from David.
Seriously, though, thank you for the introduction. And it's very simple to say how one feels when you look around this room and you see the distinguished people who are also receiving awards and recognition tonight. All of them are civic leaders and economic powerhouses and have done a lot for our city. So to be included among them is an honor and humbling. It's nice to have that honor. And the only other part of it that I need to really comment on is it's a little confusing to me because, as Rhonda said, it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. It kind of sounds like it's over, like you're not working anymore. Now, I have to tell you that I'm just starting. I'm just warming up. We're in the first round of a 15-rounder. So don't be confused by this Lifetime Award. And in fact, I'm a little upset that you don't give awards twice because I wanted to ask, how many years more do I have to put in to be eligible to get another award? So on the one hand, I feel like I'm just getting started. On the other, the Cordish company is actually well over 100 years old, so it's a little confusing. And we're in our 4th generation. And actually, I'm happy to say a 5th generation just joined us. And I'm often asked, how did you all do it? And it keeps going and you're able to keep passing it down. And we're now all over the country and we're in about 6 or 7 different businesses. I can only say I wonder at it myself, but there are 2 things that contribute to it, I think. One I've alluded to. We have a lot of family members who were the reason why I'm standing up here today getting this award. It takes a village. And with me, I need the Marines and the Army and the Navy. And I've got them. What I would say as to how we've been so successful, there are 2 reasons. And one is it's family. And the second reason is that I recommend and that I know to this group I don't have to recommend is we work hard. And there are people out there that are smarter than we are. There are people that are bigger. There are people that have more money, but nobody will outwork us. And, you know, we have a saying that sometimes we lose. Occasionally it happens, and the opposition can beat us. But to do it, they're going to bleed. They're going to have to work that hard. And if you have a lot of family and you work hard, I think that's how we've gotten to where we are. When I started this, I said to you, I'm honored to be included with this group, and I meant it. Again, I thank all of you. It's for giving me the award and honoring us and the company. And while we're coast to coast, to get an award like this in Baltimore City means the world to me. I'm a Baltimore City boy. I was born here, raised here, went to 12 years of public school here, graduated City College, and then walked down the street to Johns Hopkins, then went to the University of Maryland Law School downtown. Our corporate headquarters is in the power plant. And Baltimore City will always be not only in my heart, but right now it needs to be in our prayers. It needs to have more of you as leaders to bring it back and to bring it to its full potential. And it's the Baltimore Business Journal, and doing this kind of thing is helping. And all of us have just got to figure it out. But getting this award in this city today is very meaningful, and thank you all.
And now let's listen to a wide-ranging conversation I recently had with David. He spoke of his faith in cities despite the pandemic's impact, the ongoing growth of the Cordish companies, and what the future may hold for his beloved hometown of Baltimore. So we're meeting up today with David Cordish to chat a little bit about his career today and all the accomplishments that he has racked up as chairman of the Cordish companies. David, welcome and congratulations on the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Thank you. I doubt that I deserve it, but it's very nice to have anyway. You know, when it's on my resume, they'll never know whether I deserved it or not. It'll just read well. So thank you. And thank you for the honor.
Well deserved. You credited so much of your company's success to your family and its great support over the years. Talk a little bit about that closeness with your sons and your other relatives and the support and how it's helped you to shape the leadership team at the Cordish companies.
Well, it's a very good way to start this conversation because I can't think of anything that's been more important to our success. It goes back, the Cordish company, to my grandfather, Lewis, well over 100 years ago, close to 110 years ago. And he was based in Baltimore City, did real estate in Baltimore City, a little bit in Washington. He was very local in his development. And then my dad took over from my grandfather, Lewis. My dad was Paul Cordish, and he worked full-time with us till he was 93 years old. And what it gives you is a support system that you can count on. Very helpful. That's all I can say. People you can count on, people you can trust, people you can keep talking to. People always have your back, and their owners. So it's our strength, no question about it.
And I think also sometimes family businesses don't make it to another generation, but you're already on your fifth, you're moving into your fifth right now. Some things you can't plan. What are some of the lessons that you've learned and some of the gratitude to have another generation now coming in that you could pass along as far as lessons go to the fifth generation?
Well, the one that I remember the most, that's stuck in my head, that I got from my dad and have tried to impart to my three sons, stepson and stepdaughter, was Paul Cordish always said, don't ever cross the line. Don't be tempted. Play it down the middle. You can push close to the line, but don't ever step over it. And we are very hard fighters. We will push as ferociously as anybody, but I'd like to think we don't cross the line. and that's what I try to pass on to the next generation. They'll pass on to the next generation. If you live by that, I don't think you can go too far wrong. You win some, you lose some, but don't cross the line.
And you're talking in sports metaphors here, and you are an athlete. And I think growing up playing lacrosse and basketball and a lot of the other games that you played taught you some of these lessons that you've been able to put into business. Talk a little bit about melding the two. Right now, as you look back, some of the lessons of your youth. Great
point, great question. You'll have trouble asking a better question than that one because that's knocked out of the park. We are sports nuts, all of us, and it goes back and continues. So I played lacrosse for Johns Hopkins. We won national championships. My kids were all D1 athletes, all of them. 2 at Princeton, 1 at Penn. You learn from sports a couple of things which might sound contradictory, but you learn them both from sports. You learn to compete, and you learn to stand on your own 2 feet and how to compete. And when you're out there, you have to play by the rules. And the rules are very clear. What's a penalty? What isn't a penalty? How long you get to play? That's one of the great things about sports. On the other hand, you also learn teamwork. If you're just out there, I'm playing lacrosse at Hopkins, I'm going to think, all right, I'll play by the rules and I'll fight as hard as I can. And you're not a good teammate, you're not going to succeed. Sports is a great teacher for business. I can't think of anything better. And a good equalizer as well, later on down the road. No question about it. That reminds me a little of the battle that Cordish companies went to way back in Hanover to get the casino going. Of course, we know where it ended today, a very successful operation. It just hauled in $62.9 million in July, which was way up year over year. So talk a little bit about that fight and what that meant to the Cordish companies to establish that and win. Well, you are right to call it a fight. That was an all-out war. And for a good reason. We were awarded the license for Anne Arundel County and thought we could just go build a casino. We won through the state selection committee and the council of Anne Arundel County gave us our zoning. But there was a casino in another state that's nearby that had been established for many, many, many years. Excellent casino, doing mammoth business in a state with very few people. Where did they get their people from? Anne Arundel County, Howard County, Montgomery County. They were only an hour away. It was an easy drive. And this rival knew that when we got built, the people would drive 15 minutes, 20 minutes. They weren't going to drive an hour. And it's just business. They collected signatures. They got us put on the ballot. In November, when you came in to vote for governor or Congress, whatever, you had to vote. Did you want this casino in Anne Arundel County? And did you want it near Arundel Mills Mall and next to Arundel Mills Community College and so forth? And they spent many, many, many millions of dollars in TV ads. How do we know that? You have to report TV advertising to the Federal Communications Commission. So it was all above board what they did. We didn't have the bankroll of an existing casino. And we made a decision early on to create a grassroots, on the ground campaign. We weren't going to spend that kind of money. And we also don't think it's a good way to run campaigns in general. I love grassroots in politics. It usually wins over, TV. And we organized block by block, door by door. We had captains, we had coffees, we had teas. Everyone in my family went door to door. My wife, Susie, and I went constantly. And you would knock on the door, you'd explain it. You'd say to people, look, you may have seen a TV ad. They'd seen hundreds of them, but that's not what we're going to do. It's not going to be in the mall. It's going to have its own building. You have to be 21. We're going to hire, thousands of employees. And by the way, it wasn't just the family and the company. The policemen of Anne Arundel County on their off time, the firemen from Anne Arundel County, the school teachers, everybody went door to door. And we educated the public on what, in fact, we've become. So what we've become is the largest employer, not only in the county, we're one of the couple largest in the state. We have just a shade under 5,000 employees at the casino, at the hotel, at the live event center, at all the restaurants, at the live performance. And when I say 5,000, these are good paying jobs. These come with complete health benefits, with a medical clinic for the entire family that's free. It's at the casino, you just come in. When we were closed for 90 days last year because of COVID, we turned the entire apparatus, the entire event center into a vaccine center for the county. And of course, no charge. And it worked. The gaming tax that we pay the state is almost $1 million a day, every day for 10 years now. It's based on a percentage. So some days it might be 980,000 a day. Some days it's $1.1 million. But that's just the gaming tax we pay the state education fund, $1 million a day. Then we pay real estate taxes. Then we pay sales taxes. Then we pay employee and income taxes. So when you add it all up to the county, our annual, not real estate, just gaming tax is almost $25 million now. So we're, as we promised during that war to get the vote, we won it by almost 70% at the end. We are a massive taxpayer and a massive employer, and highly profitable. And it's led to other casinos. This, by the way, was our third casino. Wasn't our first rodeo. We built the two most profitable casinos in the history of the United States in partnership with the Seminole tribe in Florida. One in Tampa, one near Fort Lauderdale. And that's what equipped us to do Maryland Live. But it's worked fantastically, and to be honest, even better than we promised or we thought, because it's also one of the top 3 or 4 in the whole country as to revenue and jobs and taxes and everything else. So it was a great experience.
How do you see, the entertainment industry? How does Cordish view that coming out of COVID? What's your take on that? It's really a work in progress, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mentioned earlier that we have a division that Reed Cordish heads called Entertainment Concepts Incorporated. And unlike most developers, we actually, in a sense, are our own tenant. So we run entertainment projects. We run restaurants and clubs and live performance and comedy and jazz. And we are the tenant. Sometimes, most of the time, to ourselves, we're the landlord and the tenant, but sometimes increasingly for third parties, other developers who call us. Now, it was a terribly difficult 14, 15 months because of COVID. Our live performance venue, these large gatherings where you have 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people at a concert, were closed for over a year. Many of the restaurants were closed, maybe outdoors. And it's slowly all coming back. I'm optimistic that if everybody would just get vaccinated, we're through this.
I really want to talk about your hometown. I know how dedicated you are. And what's your take on Baltimore today? What is the state of the city downtown?
I'm a Baltimore City guy. I grew up in the city, I went to 12 years of public school in the city, graduated from City College, walked up the street and went to Johns Hopkins. My sons all have homes in the city to this day. I love the city. Our business and headquarters is in the power plant across the street from you. But it's not a great story, Baltimore City today. And it's a shame. And it doesn't have to be, because we have the bones to be fantastic. We have crime that's ridiculous, that's out of control. And we've had administrations, and I'm not talking about the present one. You can't be critical. The present one, Mayor Scott just got there, and let's see what he can do. But we've now had a long period of leadership, political in the city, that didn't support the police, didn't understand what crime was doing to the city. You can't stand down. You've got to provide safety in the neighborhoods. You've got to provide it downtown. There is no dichotomy. We've got to help the neighborhoods, but the neighborhoods is not where you have jobs. That's where we all live.
Right.
You've got to have jobs downtown. They're not competitive, as some prior administrations have tried to play it. They have to work. We have to support both. First place to start is to support the police. Police, of course, have got to be fair. They've got to impartially. You've got to support them, though. You've got to help them, though. And then they've got to enforce the law so that people are safe and people come downtown. We have unbelievable assets here. Our rents for residential, our rents for office, our rents for retail are a fraction of DC, a fraction of our competitive cities. We've got to take advantage of. You know, it's a tale of two cities. We've got to get our act together. It starts, I think, with the politics, and it starts with public-private. Your downtown retail is, by and large, whether you're on Pratt Street or you're over at Howard Street or whether you're in Harbor Place. Harbor Place has been in bankruptcy for almost 3 years.
I know.
That's way before COVID.
We need to talk a little bit about that. What's your solution for Harbor Place? Are you, as a developer with your headquarters right around the corner, interested in Harbor Place? Could you work your magic over there?
No. Look, the problem at Harbor Place is endemic. It's much larger than Harbor Place. It goes up Pratt Street, it goes up Howard Street, and it goes to a lot of the city's retail. So what the media, some of the politicians like to say is it's the wrong developer. Look, he's not a friend of mine. I met him once in my whole life. It's one developer. The Cordish company can't just walk in and take over Harbor Place and fix it. I can't do it. It's a public-private undertaking. Pratt Street needs to be public-private. Turning around the office needs to be public-private. There's got to be a partnership. We do it with cities all over the country. All over the country. We're in St. Louis. We're in Kansas City. We're in places that have, less advantages than Baltimore City has. But it's nice of you to say, David, why don't you just take it over? The Cordish company, we couldn't. If the city were to ask us, if it was public-private, we could do it. Other developers could do it. But that's what downtown retail needs, is a partnership.
Just amazing. I think what I'm hearing, the big message here is that you're seeing it too, is that a lot of cities that Cordish is already in, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, Texas, Florida, of course, South Florida, a lot of these cities are in a reset, just like Baltimore is. Baltimore has its own special problems, but coming out of COVID, trying to figure out where cities go from here, they're certainly not dead. They're only going to get better and build on their success.
No, that's very well said by you. And the fact of the matter is, and I alluded to it earlier, in Baltimore City, with all the negatives, people are still willing to live here and they're coming downtown and they're building more housing and more housing. And, you know, right behind Harbor Place, you have the tallest building in the whole city. It's brand new. It's a residential tower. It's doing fine. At the other side of me on President Street, you have a brand new residential tower, brand new, and it's doing fine. They're both excellent products, and people are saying, I'll bet on Baltimore. And they're betting with their feet. So no question we can win, but it's going to take both sides of the equation.
Well, okay, here's my last question. I want you to give me an assessment of yourself. You've been described as tough, fair, gentlemanly, of course, creative, feisty. Who's the real David Cordish?
Well, I think you touched on a lot of it. I don't think it's that simple to describe any of us. I'm a competitor, and I want to win. I think if I had to say one trait, and I've tried to imbue it in the company, I'm going to outwork most people, and our company is going to outwork you. Somebody may be smarter than I am or smarter as a company. Some company may be bigger, they may be richer. You're going to have a lot of trouble outworking the Cordish company. We put in a lot of hours. And there's one simple reason. There are no shortcuts. Everything in life, you run a very good publication, you know it's attention to detail. You've got to pay attention to the little things. I like to tell these youngsters when I interview them, they want to come work at I say, why do you want to come work here? Well, you build these beautiful buildings. I said, yeah, we fix potholes. What, you know, and, you know, when you see a piece of trash on the ground, don't walk by it, bend over and pick it up. It's the attention to detail. It's the work. And I think that's been my guiding philosophy. Just work harder than the next guy and pass that on to your kids, but then pass it on to the next generation and all the other employees. We work hard. You walk into the Cordish company, somebody asked me, what's the atmosphere like? It's intense. It is very intense. Some people say it's insane, but I'll use the word intense because we're working hard. And I would say that's probably, if I had to pick a single trait that I think describes us and maybe me, we work hard.
Well, this has been great. I understand why you're so successful, of course, but now just hearing it in your words, you know, just brings it all home. And again, congratulations on being named CEO of the Year. It's a worthy title to add to your resume. And I know we're going to see you around town real soon.
Well, thank you. This was fun to talk to you. And as I said at the beginning, I'm certainly honored to receive the reward. Very nice.
Thank you, Melody, and heartfelt congratulations to David Cordish, our 2021 CEO of the Year Lifetime Achievement honoree. Well deserved. And now I'd like to welcome BBJ Editor-in-Chief, Joanna Sullivan, to announce this year's Power 10 CEOs. Joanna?
Thank you, Rhonda. We've written about countless CEOs over the years. A successful company ultimately has to have a decisive leader and decision maker at the helm. Today, we are spotlighting 10 of the best in Greater Baltimore. I am proud to announce this year's Power 10 CEOs, and here they are. Franklyn Baker grew up the son of a minister in San Bernardino, California. He has good memories of his father working to serve his ministry and community. Baker said that left a lasting impression on him and helped him decide that he didn't want to work on Wall Street or at a Fortune 500 company. He wanted to help people. Baker ended up in the right place, leading one of Greater Baltimore's largest nonprofits. Leaders at local nonprofits have never been more tested than during the COVID-19 pandemic. Community need has been great. Baker has risen to meet that challenge. Please congratulate Power 10 CEO Franklyn Baker of the United Way of Central Maryland.
Hello, I'm Franklyn Baker, President and CEO of United Way of Central Maryland. I'm incredibly honored to be recognized by the Baltimore Business Journal with this award. Thank you so much. You know, I have learned many things over the years, but I believe the most important elements of effective leadership are humility and listening and courage. For nearly 100 years, United Way has provided what's needed where it's needed. In leading this growing organization, I rely on humility, the humility necessary to trust my talented and dedicated teams to provide their sound advice and counsel. I listen actively to what they say and then make informed decisions based on our mission and goals and what's best for our community, our partners, and our organization. Now, courage. I summon my courage to lean into the challenges COVID has imposed on our work and on the lives of those we help. And I rely on this courage as I work with my teams to develop innovative, new ways to address ongoing and emerging needs. In the past year, we pivoted our operations to deal with the pandemic. We rapidly responded to the cascade of needs and ensured safety protocols for our staff and the people we serve. And we moved much of what we do to the virtual environment, like daily operations, raising funds, and awareness. Throughout, we keep the needs of our members a priority. COVID has taken a toll on all of us. And so just as we support Central Maryland, we fully support our staff who make our important work possible every single day. It was certainly an unprecedented year, but we achieved so much. We stood up funding collaboratives that raised $5 million in aid. We raised more than $3 million for our own COVID-19 community fund, and we secured $50 million in federal grants to help thousands avoid eviction. We helped the food insecure, those seeking employment, those with mental health issues. We made Wi-Fi hotspots available in underserved neighborhoods and expanded our work with child care and early education services. And we were thrilled to receive an unrestricted $20 million gift from philanthropist Mackenzie Scott based on our leadership, our impact, and our overall results. This year of witnessing so many challenges in our region and co-creating viable solutions with passionate stakeholders was just a reminder to me about why I've devoted my career to health and human services. Thank you so very much.
Diane Bell-McKoy didn't hesitate when asked to name her source of power. She quickly said God. The longtime head of Associated Black Charities doesn't view herself as powerful. Instead, she considers herself outspoken. She said she hasn't been afraid to speak up in Greater Baltimore boardrooms to fight for equity for Black people. She considers her mission even more important after the murder of George Floyd last year. Expect Bell-McKoy to get even more outspoken. Please congratulate Power 10 CEO Diane Bell-McKoy, Executive Director of the Associated Black Charities.
Thank you for this honor of receiving the Power 10 Award from the BPJ. I am very appreciative of the honor, largely because it's not just about my work, Diane Bell-McKoy. It's about the work of Associated Black Charities and all of those persons that work there, that are committed there, all of the team that's a part of making this happen, those members of the team that have since left and put their hard-earned commitment, their hard-earned beliefs into making this agenda what it is and getting people to understand the impact of structural racism on the economic mobility of Black and brown workers, particularly Black workers as a majority workers in Baltimore. This is really essential that we come to understand how that limits the outcomes for all of us by not paying attention to Black and brown people as having assets. And that really is the importance. If I can talk about anything, it would be to talk about as accomplishment, my own unlearning, my own kind of white supremacist stripes of believing that everything was urgent and believing that everything had to be done now. And also kind of believing in kind of my own press release in terms of it's not all that the center of the universe for this kind of work, the center of any universe, I think, for an employer has to be its team members. And for me, that's clear that the team is the center of the universe of bringing about a difference along with the board. But the team members do this work day in and day out. And through COVID, we quickly pivoted to make a difference, to know that we still had to pay attention, and particularly after George Floyd's death, in terms of understanding this was critical in terms of getting people, if they weren't going to hear us ever before, although we've been having this conversation for a long time, we've been demonstrating that it's important for a long time, people finally are beginning to hear, and I think opening up and willing to pay attention to changing structural racism in Baltimore.
Dalia Dasraza has always said Fearless is not just a tech company. He has proven that, and then some. In fact, the Baltimore tech company has become a force in the community. Most recently, the firm became the main sponsor of the Downtown Partnership's Downtown Boost program, which gives grants to Black-owned businesses. Sponsoring the program represented a full circle for Dzirasa. His company was able to move to downtown Baltimore in 2016 with a grant from the Downtown Partnership. Dzirasa's advice to other leaders is be yourself and find your voice and use it. Congratulations, Power 10 CEO Dalia Dasraza of Fearless.
I really want to thank the Baltimore Business Journal for naming one of the Power 10 CEOs. It's such an amazing and exciting honor, and I'm extremely humbled. So thank you so much for this appreciation. I got to thank a couple people before we go. I do not sit here alone. There's so many people that have been part of this process. First and foremost, I want to thank the Fearless family. We've been working lots of days, lots of nights, and someone came up to me recently and said, "Wow, Fearless is blowing up." And I'm thinking, this is 10 to 12 years in the making, and lots of long evenings, nights, and weekends, and the team has really been putting in the work really to accomplish this mission of building software with the soul and helping to create a world where good software powers things that matter. So it doesn't matter if you're in education or healthcare, or social justice, all of these media issues, we're building tech and digital services to help to move those things forward. And I couldn't be more proud to work with this community and this great group of individuals. I've got to thank my family. Starting off with my beautiful wife, Letitia, and all of my siblings and my parents for all of the motivation, the push, and the encouragement. I would not be here without you. You have put in the work alongside me. You are some of my harshest critics in a good way and pushing me to be better, and my most fierce supporters. And so from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. There is no Fearless without you. Many people don't realize the sacrifice that you all have to make to share me with the Fearless family, and you do it with such grace. So thank you so much. I also want to thank the Baltimore community. You all have adopted me as your son. I didn't go to high school here. I wasn't born and raised here, but coming into Baltimore has been such a treat. We thought we'd be here for a few years, and we're still here. And this is where we're choosing to do our life's work and to be embraced. And really, the next phase of our growth and our evolution is going to be using our platform and using our voice, and growing from a one-person company to the largest software developer in the Baltimore region has been a great accomplishment. But how can we use this seat to now help others? And so from Hutch, our digital services incubator, and growing more women and minority-owned companies in the technology space, to helping organizations and companies through Boost and bringing more Black businesses into downtown Baltimore. We really want to push out and create more opportunities and create more equity within the city as a whole. And I'd be remiss to not thank and not congratulate all of the other Power 10 CEO awardees. What a phenomenal group. And I got to single out one. So congratulations to you, Dr. Hrabowski. I remember coming to you before I started Fearless, and you gave me a lot of great advice and connected me with some great relationships I have to this day. That was a lot of the push that I needed to even start Fearless in the first place. And so I would not be here without you. Fearless would not be here without you. And so thank you so much for your mentorship. Thank you so much for your friendship. Thank you so much for investing in me. And if I could do half of what you have done and the impact that you've made in your life on others, I think we'll be in a good space. And so thank you so much for everything you've poured into me, and I will make good on that investment. So congratulations on your retirement announcement. Thank you so much.
Greg Farno learned early on in his career about the importance of embracing risk and taking on challenges. He moved from Connecticut to Baltimore to work for what was then Maryland National Bank. Farno has since risen to become the Maryland Regional President for Truist Bank, overseeing the unification of SunTrust and BB&T locally. While he considers it his greatest challenge, he considers himself fortunate and credits his success to luck, family, and his faith. An active corporate citizen, he is passionate about Baltimore and Truist's role in helping the city move toward a brighter future. Please congratulate Power 10 CEO Greg Farno of Truist Bank.
Thank you for this honor, and congratulations to my fellow recipients. Your leadership and resiliency over the past 18 months has been inspiring, and I am proud to work with you to make our community and our state a great place to live and work. We've staked our future on the purpose of building better lives and communities. We believe that better requires setting a new standard ensuring our business and our social impact are woven seamlessly together. In a year disrupted by a pandemic, a recession, and social injustice, caring for each other took on even greater importance. Truist rose to the challenges of the tumultuous year, and we have set an even higher bar for the future despite of it. We are fundamentally refocusing and reimagining our approach to philanthropy and are determined to lead in our passion, intention, and impact. I'm so proud to accept this award on behalf of all Truist teammates in recognition of the power and fortitude they have shown in the past year. Despite the constraints of stay-at-home orders, remote work, and social distancing, our teammates rose to the challenge and worked virtually and outdoors on projects to tutor students, stock food pantries and distribute food, clean up playgrounds, and landscape and beautify the grounds of schools and nonprofit organizations. When the local business community was struggling, we mobilized thousands of teammates across the country and here in Maryland to process applications and provide urgent capital to our clients when they needed it the most. These teammates worked quite literally around the clock for multiple days, resulting in us being one of the most active PPP lenders in Maryland and the country. And finally, we are proud to have provided more than $2.1 million to the Maryland region in supporting communities, organizations, and individuals with disaster relief and assistance. These are just a few examples of how we are living out our purpose. I'm incredibly proud to lead our organization in Maryland and work with our teammates every day to inspire and build better lives and communities. From our BB&T and SunTrust heritage organizations to Truist today, we've called Baltimore home for many years, and we look forward to being an active advocate of this community for many more. Thank you very much.
Brian Gibbons doesn't shy away from a challenge. Where people once saw an old cup factory on Reisterstown Road, he saw a bustling shopping center. Today, his vision is Foundry Row, a major draw for Baltimore County shoppers. His other high-profile projects include Hunt Valley Town Center, the Village at Walchapel, the Shops at Kenilworth, and soon Towson Row. And he's not stopping there. He continues to grow his development company outside of Maryland with office and industrial projects in the works in North Carolina. Gibbons is known for securing strong financial backing and getting great tenants like Wegmans. Please congratulate our Power 10 CEO, Brian Gibbons, CEO of Greenberg Gibbons.
Good evening. I'm Brian Gibbons, Chairman and CEO of Greenberg Gibbons. Thank you, Baltimore Business Journal, for this honor. And congratulations to David Cordish as the 2021 CEO of the Year and all the other honorees in tonight's event. To be named a top 10 CEO by the Baltimore Business Journal amongst all the terrific community leaders in the Baltimore region is truly something special, and it's something that we should all be proud of. I joined Greenberg Gibbons as president and CEO in 1999. The first project I worked on was the Village at Walchapel, located in Crofton. It became the blueprint for Greenberg Gibbons moving into the future. It put us on the map. In the ensuing years, from 2001 through today, we have developed over 12 million square feet of retail-driven mixed-use projects throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. Each of these projects make us proud. Currently, our portfolio consists of over 5.5 million square feet of mixed-use projects valued at over $1.5 billion. Over the years, I learned that you cannot reach success without solid financial partners, strong relationships, and community buy-in. Most importantly, a great executive team, now led by Eric Walter, our new president, and a motivated and talented staff. They are the driving force for my honor tonight. The real estate industry is always evolving. As a result, we continuously evaluate areas of opportunity. This year is no different. In the last year, Greenberg Gibbons has grown exponentially. We have opened a new flex industrial division in Charlotte, North Carolina, and intend to build millions of square feet throughout the North Carolina markets over the next 10 years. We also formed a new private equity fund for acquisitions along the East Coast of existing shopping centers to take advantage of the opportunities that we believe exist as a result of the pandemic. We believe that there is a strong future in retail and that we are equipped to take advantage of this future. And while we're excited to have Greenberg Gibbons expand our footprint, we remain bullish on Baltimore and the Mid-Atlantic. This year, we opened Towson Row, the new $350 million mixed-use project, serving as the new gateway to Towson along York Road and Towson Town Boulevard. In addition, at Hunt Valley Town Center, we are bringing on new uses, including senior housing and multifamily apartments. At Foundry Row, we also added multifamily, a trend that I think you will see continue throughout the industry. We are very excited about the future. We can't wait to see what happens next. Again, thank you, Baltimore Business Journal, and congratulations to all of tonight's honorees.
Freeman Hebrowski surprised us by announcing his retirement shortly after we disclosed he was one of our Power 10 CEOs. Our timing couldn't have been more perfect. We're thrilled we get to honor the venerated leader of UMBC as he starts a new chapter in his life. In his 30 years at the helm, he has turned the Baltimore County University into a national powerhouse in math, science, technology, and chess. He even managed to create a basketball sensation. Hrabowski said he's especially proud of UMBC's ability to turn out graduates from all walks of life. He even has a few of our Power 10s among his alumni. Please congratulate Power 10 CEO, Dr. Freeman Hebrowski, president of UMBC.
Hello, I'm Freeman Hebrowski, president of UMBC, and I'm honored to be on this Power 10 list. Let me commend BBJ for selecting some excellent people to be commended and honored as leaders from the nonprofit sector, with whether you're talking about United Way all the way over to Fortune 500, McCormick. And I'm delighted that you got wonderful graduates of UMBC from Fearless Solutions and Associated Black Charities on this list. What's important as a region is that we are working to prepare people for good jobs and to create new jobs. I am very proud that UMBC hires about 5,000 people, that we have 14,000 students here on campus, another 6,000 students at the training centers, UMBC training centers in Howard County. And so we see ourselves as a major employer in the area, and we are creating young people and not so young people who are starting companies. You heard me mention the Fearless Solutions, which started in our research park as an incubator after he graduated from UMBC. And it's amazing how he was able to go. This is Delali Dzirasa, who went from our research park to Baltimore City. And the company now is one of the major companies in this state. We're very proud of them and the major contracts that they're getting. And so I want you to think about the ecosystem of universities and nonprofits and companies working together to build the economy. And that means more jobs. That means more people qualified to do the jobs. And so you'll always hear me thanking everybody on my campus and thanking you for understanding that I accept this award on behalf of my colleagues who have worked so hard and work every day to prepare people for the jobs in the market in this region. More than 80% of the 85,000 graduates of UMBC live within an hour of the campus right now. We're very proud of that. That means a lot of workers, a great tax base, and we're making a difference. And so I leave you with the thought that the more we do to support education, the more we can do to support the economy. Thank you very much.
Lawrence Curzius has always had that entrepreneurial spirit. As a student at Princeton University, he sold anti-preppy buttons in a very preppy atmosphere. Curzius ended up in the corporate food industry, eventually finding his way to his dream company, McCormick & Company, Inc. He took over as CEO in 2016. and has since been leading the 132-year-old Hunt Valley Spice and Seasoning Company into an innovative player in the 21st century food scene. He is leading McCormick's sustainability efforts and hopes to be remembered for being driven to innovate and for his purpose-led performance. Please congratulate Power 10 CEO Lawrence Kurzius.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lawrence Curzius, Chairman, President, and CEO of McCormick. And on behalf of our company, I'm honored to be a recipient of the Power 10 Award. Thank you to the Baltimore Business Journal, McCormick employees around the world, and the Baltimore community we've called home for over 130 years. 2020 and 2021 have been milestone years for McCormick, as our continued growth and successful execution of our strategies has allowed us to join the Fortune 500 and acquire fantastic flavor businesses like Cholula Hot Sauce and Fona International. This year, we were ranked the world's 6th most sustainable company on the Corporate Knights Global 100 Sustainability Index and number 1 in food for the 5th year in a row. We were also recognized on Diversity Inc.'s Top 50 list of companies for diversity as we work to promote the growth and advancement of underrepresented groups in the workplace. Since 1889, McCormick has continued to invest in the Baltimore area, including the opening of our new global headquarters building in Hunt Valley in 2018. With over 2,500 employees working right here in Maryland, we're committed to creating great paying local jobs and career opportunities, keeping McCormick a great place to work, and doing our part to help improve the lives of the people in the Baltimore community. It's been a true honor to lead McCormick as CEO. I'm proud to be leading such a great organization, and I'm personally committed to making sure the Baltimore region remains an attractive place to live and work. Thank you again for this honor, and I'm looking forward to seeing Baltimore flourish in the future.
Sheila Murthy says she has a loud voice. She uses that to speak up for those who can't for themselves. Now the CEO of Murthy Law Firm, Greater Baltimore's 25th largest law firm and 9th largest minority-owned business, she speaks up daily for those hoping to immigrate to the United States. Her 100-person Owings Mills office specializes in immigration, helping people obtain visas and green cards to bring their skills to the U.S. She knows firsthand what it's like to try to immigrate to the U.S. The India native says she's determined to make it easier for those who are seeking a life here. Murthy's busy schedule hasn't stopped her from becoming one of the biggest and loudest advocates for local business. Please welcome Power 10 CEO Sheila Murthy of Murthy Law Firm.
Thank you to the Baltimore Business Journal for recognizing all of us and for giving me this wonderful recognition. I am so honored to be among a group of people I really like, respect, and admire. This past year with the pandemic, it has really given each of us an opportunity to slow down, to stop and smell the roses, as they say, so that we can focus on what is really important in our lives. The value of family, the value of our team, and the value of being there to support each other along life's journey. When I talk about us and the Murthy Law Firm being one of the global leaders in the field of U.S. immigration law, I know for a fact that it is only because of the exceptional team that we have. In fact, I often refer to our team as the ABCD team to stand for awesome, brilliant, caring, and dedicated. Besides the importance of working together as a team, our goal with our vision, mission, and values has always been to help people realize the great American dream of living and working in this amazing country, the United States of America, a nation largely of immigrants. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize every single person across the globe that is truly making a difference by contributing to their businesses, to their families, and continuing to stay focused while struggling with so many issues that came with the pandemic. And finally, I thought it would be important to point out that in our vision, mission, values, we truly want to help every person and every business or employer find the best global talent so we can help to make America a stronger and better country with the best talent from all over the world. I really want to thank the Baltimore Business Journal once again for this honor, to congratulate my fellow honorees, and to wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful fall and coming year. Let's all get over the pandemic, get back to life, but each one of us wiser and better for having gone through this experience. Thank you.
Nancy Palmer just hosted one of the biggest events to come Greater Baltimore's way in 60 years. Palmer's Caves Valley Golf Club welcomed the PGA's BMW Championship last month, which drew thousands to the tournament. The proud alumna of Towson University was an accountant at a Big 8 firm before switching course, literally, to join the fledgling Caves Valley. She has never looked back. Please congratulate Power 10 CEO Nancy Palmer of Caves Valley Golf Club.
Hello, I am Nancy Palmer, General Manager of Caves Valley Golf Club. I am pleased to be a recipient of the Baltimore Business Journal's 2021 Power 10 CEO Award. I am honored to receive this award and humbled to share the stage with the other 9 recipients. Congratulations to David Cordish as CEO of the Year. I've had the good fortune of serving as the General Manager of Caves Valley Golf Club since before the club opened in 1991. During these years, I have managed the non-golf activities of the club, which include managing a $14 million annual budget, building a membership of over 550 club members, and managing the numerous capital expansion projects over the years. During these years, I also managed the sale of 34 residential home sites and oversee a 29-home residential community. It has been a challenging and rewarding career for a young woman who graduated from Towson University with an accounting degree and a CPA. I was thankful to be hired by a group of prominent business and civic leaders who shared a vision for a world-class golf facility to be built in the finest traditions of America's great golf clubs. They envisioned a total golfing facility that would serve local pride, establish a regional presence for economic development, and attract a diverse national and international membership. The BMW Championship, which the club hosted last month, is a brilliant example of how this mission remains the same today. I am proud to say that hosting the PGA Tour in Baltimore, almost 60 years since they were last here, is a highlight of my career. I'm also proud that the proceeds from the BMW Championship will go toward building the Caves Valley Evans Scholars Scholarship House at the University of Maryland College Park. The Evans Scholars Foundation awards full tuition and housing college scholarships to hardworking caddies with limited financial means. The house is expected to open in 2024. Thank you, BBJ.
Brian Pinnick says he tries to lead with positivity and optimism in his role as CEO of the region's largest health insurer, CareFirst BlueCross BlueShield. It's kind of a superpower. He adopted that approach from his mother, who told him to take responsibility for each day and for how he affected the people around him. Pinnick has now been at the helm of CareFirst since July 2018, overseeing an organization that employs more than 7,000 people and serves about 3.5 million customers in the Mid-Atlantic. The pandemic brought a slew of unfamiliar challenges, he said, but also served as an incredible exercise in resilience. Please welcome Power 10 CEO Brian Pinnick of CareFirst BlueCross BlueShield.
I want to start by expressing my gratitude for this recognition and my appreciation to the Baltimore Business Journal for this honor. It's humbling to be in such great company with those leading change throughout this region. The pandemic has been one of the most challenging periods in modern history, affecting individuals, employers, and businesses, no matter the industry, no matter the circumstances. In many ways, our personal and professional lives have come crashing together. COVID created the perfect storm, a new public health crisis on top of a public health crisis that has existed for decades in this country, one of iniquity, lack of access to affordable care, and the shortcomings of a volume-based sick care system rather than one focused on value and outcomes to support individual and community health and well-being. And this perfect storm has been born disproportionately by historically underserved communities. Undeniably true before the pandemic, even more so during it. What we've learned about ourselves, each other, and our customers along this journey has profoundly changed us, underscoring the significance of the work that remains ahead. With that in mind, I share this recognition with our CareFirst workforce and the countless community partners who rallied together to find solutions to problems created and intensified by this crisis. Since the start of the pandemic, CareFirst associates have invested more than 25,000 volunteer hours and helped to infuse nearly $15 million into community relief efforts, supplying community health partners with the resources and dollars required to keep serving those in need. As a leader, this time has served as a reminder of how much we need to listen, learn, educate, and encourage one another. For me personally, it's been an incredible example of receiving as much from the people we serve as we have tried to provide for them. I believe power originates from the outside in. It's something accrued from the people around you, the trust they place in you, the wisdom they impart to you, the opportunities they open for you to learn and grow. It's about the people who invest in our lives and the responsibility we have to make a difference in the lives of others. Power is a community asset to be shared. And so I want to ask fellow leaders to continue to support organizations in our communities that are actively working to improve access to health care. In our day-to-day lives, we can help our employees and the people in our communities to improve their health and well-being through education and inclusive policies within our organizations. Diversity, equity, and inclusion should touch every aspect of the cultures we create. The connections and insights that grow from promoting these values can be life-changing in healthcare and beyond. Let's begin to get ourselves future ready. Let's remain connected and hyper-focused on what we've seen and learned, especially those things that must not be unseen. As a leader, this time has been an ongoing lesson in humility. No matter our job, no matter our industry, we are human. We won't always have all the answers. Staying true to that lesson is the key to leading at this moment in time. Imagine what we could accomplish as a region if we carried these lessons forward and continued to work together in the ways we have throughout the pandemic, driving solutions for real impact. I'll end by reiterating my thanks and appreciation for our CareFirst difference makers, for their investment of time, energy, and passion to create better health outcomes for our communities, as well as our community partners who have worked tirelessly on the front lines of the pandemic to provide critical care to the communities we serve together. My congratulations to all of this year's honorees. I look forward to continuing our individual and collective efforts to best serve the region and making an impact that is equal to this honor.
Congratulations to all of our Power 10 CEOs. And back to you, Rhonda.
Thank you, Joanna, and congratulations to all of our honorees. You can read more about them in tomorrow's special section of the Baltimore Business Journal. Thank you for joining us today, and watch our nomination site for your chance to nominate your favorite CEO for next year's Power 10. From all of us at the Baltimore Business Journal, be safe, stay healthy, and we hope to see you in person soon. Have a great rest of your day.